Welcome to the Global Gaming Business Podcast, the industry's first and longest running podcast, now in our 17th year. I'm Roger Gross, the publisher of GGB, and this week we sit down with Derek Mooberry, the CEO of Zitro US, on that company's plans for entering the North American market with its unique and innovative Class 3 gaming machines. This week's podcast is sponsored by IGT with its newest MLP theme, Prosperity Link, which is a hit and performing at over 3 times versus house, according to the Eilers June report. Learn more at igt.com/prosperity. Welcome to the Global Gaming Business Podcast. My guest today is Derek Mooberry. Derek is the CEO of the U.S. arm of Zitro, correct?
That is correct.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
you.
Well, congratulations on that appointment. That's something new for you. I mean, you spent all those years with Bally's and Scientific Games and building that company up to what it became. And I guess this is a new challenge for you.
This is absolutely a new challenge, and I couldn't be more excited. I've been on the job now exactly 4 months,
okay.
So we're still pretty new.
Right.
And very exciting, though, and I love what the future holds for us.
Right. Well, I know Sebastian Salat, who's the CEO of the overall company, and he's a great guy. He's been out there for years as well.
Has been. And him and I actually worked together for a brief time as well.
Right. I remember that, yeah. So why don't you start with, a lot of people, don't really know what Zitro is. I mean, those of us in the industry know. We've seen the stands at all the trade shows. But give us a little background on Zitro then.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of people who don't know who we are,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just entering now into the U.S. market. So while we're new and growing here in the U.S. market, we're a very well-established international company, as you say. We've got over 1,000 employees around the world. But the company started back in 2007. Mm-hmm. Johnny Ortiz, who has a tremendous passion for games and content and making great products that make customers happy, obviously. So a lot of people know us from our early days, mm-hmm. when the company started, which is our bingo roots, where we had tremendous success throughout countries in Latin America, primarily in Mexico, and really some people today, when you ask them, what do you know of Zitro, mm-hmm. they think of us still as a bingo company. Sure. Despite a lot of our recent successes and our recent expansions are really all in the Class 3 video slot area, mm-hmm. And it was probably about 2016 or so that the company started making the transition to doing video slots in addition to bingo games, obviously. Right. And that's really taken off, mm-hmm. and we've seen ourselves grow tremendously since then. And so, our goal now is to get customers in the U.S. market established with who we are and mm-hmm. who our products are and what our products are about.
Well, they've always kind of dabbled in the U.S. market, but I guess with your appointment, means they're going full bore.
This is full steam now, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's been a few, what I would call it, some put our toe in the water mm-hmm. maybe a little bit in some past times. We tried initially to bring some of the early bingo products to the U.S. market. Mm-hmm. Just maybe wasn't the right product for the consumer here. Right. And so we tried those. That didn't necessarily work out as we had hoped. And then tried some of the early Class 3 content to kind of see how we were doing. And, I think what made us feel good about what the now was the right time.
Mm-hmm.
You might ask the question, why now, right? And I think it was our performance in video slots or what we saw in other markets around the world.
Sure.
In areas like Mexico and Argentina and other key markets mm-hmm. where we go head-to-head with the biggest and best, right? We go head-to-head with the Aristocrats mm-hmm. and Light and Wonders and IGTs of the world, and we saw that our products could perform, and
mm-hmm.
in some cases, outperform those competitors' products. And so that gave us the confidence, I think, that our content, our cabinet strategy was ready for the
mm-hmm.
U.S. market.
Okay, great. So tell us a little about the products. First, tell us about your R&D department. Obviously, that's the heart and soul of any slot company.
Yeah, I mean, R&D is the foundation of everything for every slot company. There's over 300 people working in the R&D department, primarily based out of Spain today. So mm-hmm. our products are developed over there. But they're developed in such a way that we have global aspirations when developing a product. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at what the market requirements are in the different regions of the world that we mm-hmm. operate in, and then even here within the United States, obviously within the different states, because you can see dramatic differences in how a product needs to get set up within something that might go in Oklahoma versus what might go in a casino in Southern California.
Sure.
So it's a growing R&D team with a number of resources behind it, focusing on all the normal elements you would expect to build great slot content.
Right. And what about some of the actual products that have proven to be successful so far?
Yeah, so we're just getting started, obviously, in the U.S. market, but we've seen success beyond really our expectations. You know, when you're an early entrant into a market, you kind of try and set your expectations accordingly. That it's hard as a new entrant because players, as they go to the casinos, they kind of get used to playing certain products that they've expect and they've seen for years and years over time. And so we recognize we're trying to break in, and we're trying to make that transition for customers over to our product lines. And so we've got a whole series of products, 4 different unique cabinets that we've launched, and with a series of different content on them. And our performance is generally exceeding our expectations and customers' expectations. We're starting to get now reorders from customers, which is oftentimes the ultimate sign of confidence, that they took the initial bank of games, it's performed well for them, and now they want more products.
Well, I saw a lot of your product at the NIGA trade show in Anaheim last month, and it was impressive. I mean, the graphics are really bright and they jump out at you. So, is this? Are you trying to do something a little bit different than other companies are doing right now?
Yeah, our new Glare product line, which is what we had at NIGA. So 4 unique cabinets, all different form factors, 4 different content streams to go on each of those cabinets. The Glare line has enhanced side lighting that you saw, 4K resolution on the monitors, which I think brought characters lifelike. In terms of, I think maybe the ultimate compliment for us was the number of competitors that came to the booth to look at some of our products, and sometimes at a trade show, that's the judge of how well you're doing.
Right. Well, on Friday there wasn't a lot of other people,
and so it was a good opportunity for people to see, what Zitro was about. And I think people are hearing about us in the marketplace now, and they're walking casino floors and they're seeing something new, and they look at it and go, "Yeah, who is that?" And they see on the side, obviously, it's a Zitro product, and they know now we're entering the market.
Sure. The cat's out of the bag. IGT's newest MLP theme, Prosperity Link, is a hit and performing at over triple versus House, according to Eilers' June report. Both partner themes feature the player favorite Lock and Respin bonus and the exciting free games bonus with either scatter or multiplier wilds. Prosperity Link will drive players to your floor with its popular game mechanics. Grab this exciting game while it's hot. Learn more at IGT.com/prosperity. Are you targeting tribal casinos initially in your first rollout here?
Yeah, so there's a lot of markets to enter into North America. Roughly 1 million machine market. We're focusing basically almost exclusively in the tribal markets today. We're in the process of getting licensed, as you know. That's the first step for any new slot company in the United States market, is to seek out the appropriate regulatory licenses. We're in the process of doing that. So today we've got machines in 3 states. We've got machines in California, Oklahoma, and Florida, mainly in tribal casinos, some commercial casinos down in the Florida market. But we're actively looking to expand, obviously, and there's going to be a whole series of expansion plans.
Sure. Well, the compliance is always very complicated and time-consuming. I guess that's the main thing that you have to worry about.
Well, it's one of the great things of this industry, right? It's what this industry's founded on is kind of the compliance process, and we're an industry of trust, obviously, and we've got to have that trust with the consumers, and that includes trust as manufacturers. That we're reputable suppliers, and so we're going through that process, and it does take time, but once you get through that, we found a lot of customers have been anxious to do business with us once we get the appropriate approvals.
So where can people see your products? I mean, we were just talking that you're looking for a Las Vegas office and a showroom, and a little blip on the radar there. But where can people see them?
Yeah, so today, as I mentioned, mainly in California, Oklahoma, and Florida, in tribal markets all throughout California, both Northern California and Southern California. So we've had some great partners down there that have helped us launch some of those products, including Pechanga, Valley View, Red Hawk in the north. So many of the great facilities have been amazing partners with us, have welcomed us, taken the products, given us good positions to see how consumers react. The Seminole Tribe in Florida has been an amazing partner as well, putting our products in nearly every casino down there. And then we're live as well at a couple of the big operators in Oklahoma. And so those are the places you can see the products today. As I mentioned, though, actively looking to seek a Las Vegas office. We hope to have a showroom at some point. We recognize that if you want to be a mainstream gaming company, you need to have an office. And if you're going to have an office, why not in the gaming capital of the world? So we're expect to have an office by later this year, which will have a showroom in it, and we'll be able to showcase all our latest offerings there as well.
Great. So tell us about some of your strategy. Are you looking to enter the premium market, or are you going to stay in the core games to begin with?
Both. Yeah. And I think that's unique. What we're trying to do as a small supplier. As oftentimes small suppliers, they come to market with one cabinet, one offering, and might even only have a couple themes on that offering. And we're coming together with four cabinets, 3 of which are for sale offerings. So we have a slant top offering, which is really designed for the sight lines, improved views throughout the casino. We've got a triple screen cabinet, which is probably our best seller today. And then we've got a curved vertical screen cabinet to kind of compete in that very, very competitive portrait landscape design segment. Those are all for sale options. And then the most talked about product for us probably at the NIGA show was our new Altius product, which is our premium offering with a large 55-inch 4K monitor on the top screen to showcase bonus rounds and progressives and a lot of new features in there as well. And so we're really excited by that hitting the market. You'll probably see the very first of those hit casinos this month, in the month of June. So we're rolling now, and it's really exciting.
Sure, that sounds interesting. How about systems? Obviously, starting as a bingo company, you've got to have some systems.
Systems are as a bingo company, we are obviously have some system components to it. We have system elements to even our games. A lot of the games today have progressives in them and other features in them. But the systems that are a key component of our strategy all revolve around our technology around building games. And so we've got some unique features like our Mega Share feature, where people who are playing our games, when one person hits a progressive jackpot, others can share in the prizes. That's obviously driven by a system element to that. But think of the systems elements that we're providing as core and unique to the product and the machine itself. Not your traditional, as my background, my old Valley Day background of slot accounting and type tracking, not those types of systems. Systems all around driving the game and the game performance.
Great. So you'll just plug into whatever system that the casino has.
Yeah, so from a slot accounting perspective, marketing perspective, we plug into whatever provider they choose to use on their casino floor.
And I guess that will go along with whatever cashless option you're using. It'll be the casino.
Yeah, if they're doing electronic funds transfers up and down on the cards, which obviously is a topic today in the industry that a lot of people are looking to migrate to, or whatever Tito function or others. We let the system drive that, and we use industry standard protocols, obviously, to accomplish all that. And that makes our games seamless to the consumer. There's nothing unique about a Zitro game in the casino from a technical aspect than the game sitting right next to them.
Okay, great. So any plans to get into the branded market, recognizable brands, or are you going to continue to just develop your own content and your own brands?
Our core brands that we've been developing internally have been so successful. We really intend to stick with those for now. We'll let the bigger guys maybe dabble in the big brands. Obviously, there's certainly a market for that.
Well, know that from
my days at Bally's. That branded products are really popular, but they're also as a supplier, they're it's a pretty big cost, and it adds to the structure. And as a startup, I think when your core product is doing so well on its own, I think you're kind of more likely to stick with that from a strategy perspective. And use branded products potentially as extensions into the future. So it's certainly something we'll evaluate as we grow. But for the time being, we're really pleased with what we have.
Sure. Well, you were such an important cog in the wheel of Bally's. I don't want to say it was ever a small company, but you really were there when it elevated itself to the status where it is today as Light and Wonder.
It's fantastic. It was a great run.
So right now, though, when you look at running a small company like this, what are the differences? What are you going to learn from your Bally's experience that will help Zitro?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it literally is quite a difference. Obviously,
Sure,
I had a 4,500 person team,
right?
At Scientific Games, and an amazing group of people, and still an amazing group of people there. It's a great company, and I'm very proud of my nearly 20 years there. But now joining a smaller company, and like I said, Zitro's smaller. Decent sized global, but in the U.S., we're very small.
Right.
And the biggest thing you learn is there's no one to delegate to here.
Right,
and
exactly.
I had a large, big team at Scientific Games. Here, we're a handful of people getting this started, and so it's very hands-on.
Yeah.
It's a roll up your sleeves approach, but I like that, and I think what I learned at Scientific Games in all of my nearly 20 years there, I had a lot of experience in a lot of different departments. I spent time in sales.
Mm-hmm.
I spent time in service.
Right.
I have a CPA background, so I worked worked closely with the finance team.
Sure.
I worked closely with the marketing team. I ran engineering for a long time there as well.
Right.
And so I really, blessed to have spent an amazing journey there and got to work and touch in nearly every department there.
Sure.
And I think it's that time served that is really going to benefit me at Zitro because, a lot of those roles in a small company, you have to wear a lot of hats.
Sure,
and having worked in a lot of those departments, I can leverage those skills and knowledge I've acquired over the years to help build Zitro.
Sure. So it's pretty much an all hands on deck type of approach.
It is. But that's part of the fun part about it.
Sure.
Is, you do get to do a lot of the hands-on work, and I really do enjoy that aspect.
Right. Sure. Absolutely. So NIGA was a really good trade show, I thought, at least on day one. But of course we have G2E on the horizon now, and just seeing how excited people were to be back at NIGA at a trade show in person, I'm expecting G2E to be pretty spectacular this year. What are your plans for G2E?
Yeah, I think I couldn't agree more. I think people were really excited to get back to a trade show again.
Right.
The industry was really waiting to and it felt like NIGA was it, and we got to go there. We got to not wear masks, obviously. It felt normal again.
Right.
It felt like we were back in business again, and talking with casino operators. Their businesses are booming, so it was great to see.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm with you. I expect G2E to be an amazing show. I mean,
Sure.
I think there'll be interest levels as high as we've ever seen in the past. And so for us, of course, it's going to be a huge show for us.
Sure,
NIGA was a big show for us. It was our very first ever NIGA, by the way. We'd never been to NIGA before.
Okay.
And so that was our first NIGA. We've been to G2E in the past, but our presence there is going to be bigger than ever. Our booth size will be our biggest yet.
Right.
We're going to have more machines than we've ever had before, and it'll be all Class 3 machines.
Right.
It won't be any of the bingo machines. We're going to have a 100% focus on the Class 3 product. You'll see all four of the cabinets that we had at the NIGA show, but you'll see the depth of the library and content library on full display at G2E. You'll be able to see, wow, this isn't just a set of 3 or 4 games here. There's a whole library behind this, and nearly everything, probably nearly 90% of our booth will be available for sale at the show. So this isn't a case where we're going to the show and showing you things you might get a year or 2 years from now. Like, this is stuff that's available to purchase today. And so that even makes us even more excited when you tie that and you start thinking about that in combination with where we will be in our growth strategy by this fall. Really exciting times.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the casino industry bouncing back like never before, I mean, there's a lot of demand for new games and new looks.
It is. And, I think, and that's why I think we're seeing so many people open up their doors to Zitro. And, while there's a lot of great content out there from a lot of suppliers, people do want diversity on their casino floors. And they'd like to have as many vendor choices as they can. And I think people root for the little guys to succeed, and they want our products to do well. And so far, we've proven to them that we can do well in those markets. And I think that'll be on full showcase at G2E as well.
Okay, great. So, you mentioned early on that Zitro has been very successful in the international market, and we've seen that. I get a press release at least once a week from the international office about new machines going into casinos around the world. So, do you think you can translate that to what's going to happen here in the U.S.?
We fully do. We think success is just imminent, really, more than anything else for us. And we're seeing it in the demand for the products. We have an extremely aggressive growth strategy. I mentioned just 3 markets today, but rapidly entering in the Midwest tribal market now as we speak, actively seeking licenses in some of the key jurisdictions there. And you'll see as we get into 2023 and 2024, us getting into more of the commercial markets. And so you're going to see Zitro products in a lot more places around the United States, and then shortly, later in that time frame, you'll start to see us expanding into Canada, Class 2 VLT markets as well. So we expect to be in all the key markets, and so growth is going to be something we're focusing on. Great.
Well, Derek, congratulations once again on taking the helm here at Zitro US, and we're going to be excited to follow your progress down through the next few years.
Well, that's great. Thank you for having me on. It's great to share our story, and appreciate your time.
Good. Well, we'll get back together again next year, and we'll figure out how well you're doing now.
That's great. I look forward to it. Great. Thanks, Roger.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hope you enjoyed this week's podcast, sponsored by IGT and its newest MLP-themed Prosperity Link. It's a hit and performing at over 3 times versus house, according to Eilers' June report. Discover more at igt.com/prosperity. To learn more about Zitro, its innovative products and plans for North America, visit ggbmagazine.com. Subscribe to GGB News to get all the news of the gaming industry delivered to your desktop every Monday morning. Sign up at ggbnews.com and use the coupon code GGB180 for a free subscription. Don't miss a single episode of the podcast. Subscribe on Amazon, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify today. So we'll see you next time on the GGB Podcast.